Do people make rational decisions? The rational actor paradigm suggests that people will make rational decisions when provided with enough information. However, as people who live in the real world, we know that it doesn't always play out this way. People make thousands of decisions each day. Some are more important than others. It's probably okay if you do something irrational, like putting pineapple on pizza. But what about higher stakes decisions, like flood decisions? This is what my research team and I wanted to know. Do people use rational factors when making flood-related decisions, or is something else at play, like cultural factors? We surveyed around 1,200 homeowners in the Gulf region, and we assigned all participants to a randomly assigned hypothetical floodplain of varying risk. Then we asked participants about their flood knowledge, and we presented them with data related to their flood risk for their assigned floodplain and asked them to interpret it. These were our rational factors. Then we asked participants about their beliefs about individualism versus communitarianism and hierarchy versus egalitarianism. These were our cultural factors. Then we asked participants if they would want to buy a house and their assigned floodplain and what steps they would take to mitigate their flood risk, like sandbags. An appropriate response for someone in a higher risk floodplain would be to say that they don't want to buy a house and that they will engage in as much mitigation as possible. An appropriate response for someone in a lower risk floodplain would be to say that they do want to buy a house and that less mitigation is needed. We put our rational and cultural factors into a regression model and found that the rational factors weren't very predictive of appropriate response, but the cultural factors were. Specifically, people higher in a hierarchy mindset, lower in egalitarianism, and lower in communitarianism were more likely to give appropriate responses. So what does this mean? Well, flood-related decision-making is complicated. The rational actor paradigm gives us an incomplete view because it does not focus on cultural factors. This means that if you just give people facts and figures, they might not do what you want them to do. But if you meet them where they're at and you tailor your interventions to their cultural worldviews, they might respond better. Flooding is a huge problem in South Florida. It is so worth it for us to do all that we can to minimize our flood damage and protect people. So, as scientists trying to educate the public about flood risk, we need to remember that when it comes to flood-related decision-making, culture counts too. Thank you.